Hey viewers, welcome back. Lance Mechanics here. Just gonna have another simple shop talk video, nothing too fancy. Been hanging around with a lot of Australians and this should get interesting. So we'll talk about that. So I work with a lot of guys from Australia and I keep asking them about automotive and they are fascinated about North America. By the way, 4% of my viewers are from Australia and they do chime in now and then. But Australia seems to have figured it out. The smarter you are, the more you're paid. What a concept. So, I don't know what I was saying. There's automotive electricians, and then you have your regular mechanical guys. So the automotive electricians are going above and beyond the automotive in general. So they're getting their certifications. I don't know if he said it was TIFE or CAFE or TEEF or something like that. But it's I think he said it was a 4-year course, and basically they're almost electricians by then, but they're automotive electricians, but it just opens up the world for them. They're paid more, they got more responsibilities, but they're just paid what they're worth. Unlike North America here, where, at least in Canada, I'll say Canada, they keep adding in everything. So they just keep expanding what our scope of work is. And yeah, it's not right. And Australia is a little more hardcore in the workforce. I work with these guys and they're in mining. So generally the slackers are kicked to the curb pretty quick. They don't deal with that kind of BS. Whereas here, North America, we're pushovers. In our flat rate environment, these guys who suck up all the gravy or pull the crap you see in the automotive industry, they'd be kicked to the curb pretty quick out there. They don't mince their words, let's say. They're pretty vocal. And I love working with them, man. That's another fun thing this week. I got to go to Toronto. I was in the Vaughan area. I went down Yonge Street, all that areas. But I hung around the industrial area and I was watching the trades areas. A lot of bus places, heavy equipment areas, looking for 310T, 310S automotive or certified people. Yes, they'll accept apprentices, but they want licensed people right now, which, trust me, there's a lot of licensed mechanics. There's no issue there. They're all hurting for work. I don't know how I feel about the Toronto area. It's expensive to live in. So I feel like the area, yes, you have a steady job. Yes, it pays decently, but the area kind of offsets everything. So that was interesting to see. Stopped into a Rivian dealer. They're all right. I like them. Nothing too fancy going on. They're getting leasing here soon, so people will be able to buy them for their businesses, expenses, write-offs. You'll see a lot more of them driving around. Interestingly enough, one of the mine sites I'm at, they take a Rivian underground. It's their green initiative vehicle. So basically taking 150, or they start at 130. Taking a very expensive automotive vehicle underground that may be foreign to some people, but when we have our Toyotas, whatever. When we bring them underground, with all the options and what it costs to import them, usually about 150 to $250,000. So to bring a Rivian underground is chump change in mining. What was cool too is I had some people follow me in the mall. One of them didn't reach out to me, but he didn't get to talk to me, but he reached out to me through TikTok and there. But it's happening more and more often. People want to stop and talk, and I love it. I love hearing everybody's stories, what's going on in the industry. People are still messaging me. That's great. In contact with the Jaded Mechanic, a bunch of other people. Like, it's awesome. I don't think the industry will change overnight, so that's why I'm still trying to get most of you into heavy equipment, fleet work, anything that's not automotive. Truck and coach it's hit or miss. There's still tight deadlines there. There's still warranty if you're at an OEM. It's still a lot of stress at the end of the day, but nothing like heavy equipment or just getting out into another trade altogether. So like, I'll keep saying this. If you're automotive, especially if you're licensed, just make the jump to heavy equipment. You won't regret it. And if you're willing to move, there is so much work in Northern Ontario, you will be set for life. You can build a fantastic life. You just got to be willing to move. And trust me, as somebody who doesn't like moving, I've done it twice. I built wind turbines, so yeah. Just reading some of the questions I was asked. Yeah, so some of the advertisements may seem pretty blunt or like, what's the word? I'm not shy. The only thing is I will not integrate products into the main topics I want to talk about. I feel like a lot of YouTubers do that and it devalues it for me. As I said early on in the channel, I will not be putting product placements into topics about automotive that I'm truly passionate about. So when I have a separate video come out and it only gets a few hundred views, I am really not sad because you guys still watch the important products the important topics. And if I do grab a scan tool or something really cool that they want me to advertise and you watch the video, you watch it. That's cool. I'm not looking for support in the products. I'm generally like bringing topics to you, and that's what I enjoy. So there really won't ever be advertisement on there. Maybe, oh, look at this little neat tool. Maybe I suggest you buy something like that, but I'm not going to go like full on top YouTubers, 3 minutes in, here comes your advertisement. Oh, I'm sponsored by VPN, or you need this element drink, or this and that. And then they do a 30-second thing. I'm not going to do it. I am never going to do it. I hate that. So if you're new to the channel, the Beamer is coming along. I'm not very quick with what I do here. Again, YouTube's a hobby for me. I still have my day job, and it's like 7 on, 7 on schedule. That's another thing. In heavy equipment, there is infinite overtime. You could be a degenerate and make 200 to 300,000 a year. You'll have no life. Or you can work your schedule and still make 150 grand a year and work half the year. It just depends what you fall into. In mining, it's a 5-4 schedule, so you're working half the year. A lot of surface gigs are 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or 1 on, 1 off, or 3 on, 2 off. It depends what you want. Whatever fits your way of doing things. But it is days and nights, so you got to get used to that. When I was in the Alberta stand, I did 64 days a night. That was rough, but after a while, you just got used to it, and I enjoyed it. I had more of a life working night shift there than I did day shift, and there was less prying eyes on you. And what I mean by that is you have a lot more freedom on night shift. Everybody will agree in the comments here, but a lot of you are automotive, or maybe some of you aren't. Seems the average viewer is 25 and up, and you guys are like, oh, you got to get all this information out to the young people, Lance. I'm like, well, the young people aren't subscribed to me. Their attention span is 30 seconds into this video, and then they turn it off. And I can make a video that catches them with a hook, but then I'm becoming like the other YouTubers, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to feed them. Oh, frig, there was a topic on it. It's a long discussion, but I'm not like that. Never will. But yeah, back to the channel. I'm slowly liking the idea of getting into repairing hybrids and electrics. I love engines. I'm just so over ICE engines. My passion has always been electricity, and I don't find hybrids or electrics that complicated. They're extremely dangerous. You still have to respect them, and a lot of people don't. And in my city, there seems to be a lot of electric and hybrid vehicles going down, and no one really knows how to fix them. Some of it may be software related, which is a pain in the ass. A lot of it seems to be people not knowing how to test things and frying modules. In this day and age, it's so easy to brick a vehicle. Unreal. Like doing simple things now, and I just learned this from a video. I would have made this mistake. 2019 and up Equinox. A lot of mechanics, even you backyarders out there, if you push back the caliper, I'm just going to use this example, so I don't want to get anything on me. So if you push this back, just ignore that this electric. You push this back and you leave the reservoir cap on. Well, you may have potentially fried that ABS module on an Equinox. There's pressure transducers in there, and they don't like that you're forcing fluid back in there. And with the cap down, it's not able to exhaust the pressure fast enough, and it just confuses the system. And some of these confusing system things, they basically hard etch code into there that is either you can reset it or you're putting a module in there, and then a lot of the time you have to go to the dealer for this kind of crap. So that's really weird. And that's where sometimes you get the benefit of going to a mechanic who specializes in one thing. I've always liked having a broad range of knowledge on all products, but it's just too much this day and age. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that. There's always going to be a mechanic who wants to know everything. That's cool. But we're at the point where you can't know everything, and you just have to generally specialize. If a shop popped open that specialized in Hondas, awesome. There's already places in town that specialize in Fords. You may get the Dodge guy. It's just, or the European specialist. But even then, you may want a European specialist who's only into BMW, Mercedes, McLarens, whatever. It's just too much this day and age, especially on anything I consider 2015 and older. Things just went exponentially in the wrong way. That's just my opinion. I seen it very quickly. I'm just like, whew. And you know what? At the dealer, I was always up to date on things, and I've been out of it for a year and a half now, but in the current trade I'm in, friggin' awesome. No complaints. Love it. Machines are just as complicated, but they're not changing quickly. So, whew. Yeah, so I feel for the automotive guys. Things are just utter bull crap right now. And unfortunately, because they're in such a bad state, you're not paid accordingly. As I said, Australia figured it out. The smarter you are, the more you get paid. Here in America, the smarter you are, the harder your work, the less you know, or the less you make. It's a conundrum. I've always hated it, and yeah, whatever. My solution is getting you out of the industry somewhere better. But that's not good long term, but we're already seeing lots of things. The amount of change I've seen in the last 10 years in the industry is scary, because they brought in AI, they brought in computer systems, they brought in the big brother. You're using your phone, like technology is huge. This thing is, it's there. Every technician's doing videos. I laugh at this. This is a segue here, but here in Ontario, they're now doing safeties with tablets, and a lot of shops charge like double now. And I'm just laughing because me being a dealership technician, I'm making full videos on a car with this in about 30 seconds. But the guys in the private garage are like, oh, this is so complicated. I have to hit buttons on a tablet, and oh, we need to charge double for taking pictures of brakes. I'm just like, what a crock of shit. You know what garages you are. You're pathetic. Some garages still kept the prices relatively simple. Like a safety shouldn't be $500 Canadian here in Ontario. It's a money grab. The shops that are doing that, it's absolute money grab. Welcome to the dealer life. We've been doing that already. You guys are just so far behind on the technology. Sorry for my little rant there. I even lost focus on what we were talking about. But yeah, back to the electric stuff. That's where I want to focus. I feel like I'm just, like I said, I'm over this stuff. I still love simple. As much as I love working on complicated things and giving myself a pat on the back when I figure it out, simple is the way to go. And you see a lot of manufacturers, they're touting, like the Scout or Amazon wants to make a truck and they want it simple. And I'm like, the price, great, it looks simple, but the price isn't simple. You're still charging a premium. You're passing this simple vehicle, which, yes, it's simple, and time will tell how long it lasts, but the price isn't simple, and you can still buy something in the same price range way more. So it's a hard sell. It's like they're passing on the R&D and the initial cost onto those people. And if it does become a good product, they'll keep that price there. But yeah, it's tough. If they sold it at a loss for the first couple of years, I think Amazon could survive, but they'd have a good product on their hand or whatever. Time will tell. I do like what Scout's allegedly doing. They want to sell direct to consumer, but that's more profit in their pocket, and that's great. If you can sell direct to consumer without a warranty, which is lobbied against in the States, thank you, United States, they could sell it at like next to nothing, but hey, it's not the way things are. You have to sell everything with a warranty in the North America. Damn, I'm still ranting on. So, what was it? One of my videos picked up again about the tire and alignment thing, and I still find it fascinating. People don't learn how things work. Like, automotive is so simple when you start playing with things, exploring, being curious. Don't be a parts changer. Just dive into the damn thing and just explore. Don't be stupid with power probes. Just find out how things work. Disconnect stuff. Oh, this threw an engine light. Oh, this did this. Now the car's behaving like this. That's how you learn. Talk with other mechanics. If you're in a flat rate dealership, yeah, it's a bit shitty. They don't want to share knowledge. There's still a lot of toxic mentality like that around here, and it sucks. But you got to learn. You got to force yourself to learn and be open to things. And I find people are just stubborn that way. They're afraid to ask questions. I will never not ask questions. Oh, screen's about to overheat. You know, I talk too long when my freaking camera overheats. I think it's recording. Yeah, it's recording. Good thing I got it on my phone. But yeah, it's so weird. I remember one story, there was this guy I was at work with underground, and he was just so scared to ask a question. It was so simple. And he's like, I'm pulling this valve and the oil's not draining. And I'm like, yeah, there's a cap on it. And he was just like so relieved. He's like, oh, I was stressing out here and this and that. And I'm like, that's cool, man. Like, don't be afraid to ask. I'm not here to hurt you. And, you know, like, I have questions too. Like, you're an electrician. You know more than me. So, yeah, never be afraid to ask questions, even if it sounds stupid. And people are so afraid of being shot down. And it's tough, especially when you're in a toxic environment like automotive. People will be like, they're two-faced. They'll be like, oh, yeah, this is stupid. You should know that. And then they'll go talk to 10 guys you work with and, oh, this guy doesn't know anything. You know what? At least you're honest to yourself. You don't know anything. You ask the question. So if something comes up, you could be like, hey, I asked the question and this is what he told me. And, you know, I didn't know. And just ask. It never hurts to ask. It's just one of those things I just never understood why people are so scared of. I guess if you made it this far in the video, I should say, post in the comments what you want to ask me. And on the next Shop Talk video, I'll try and remember. I'll print them out, to be honest. It's not that hard. And I'll answer them in the video. I try to answer everything in the comments there, but lately, because I've been reaching a bigger audience, I've been dealing with a lot more not subscribed people, but arrogant asshats. Like, I don't know. They say not to read the comments, but there is good information in the comments, and I will never not read your comments. But it's a lot of these people who are just chiming in for no reason, keyboard warriors that are like, asking questions, and I give them an answer and they come back with the stupidest rebuttal. It's like, well, I just gave you the answer. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah, ask questions and I will answer them. It's pretty simple. I know who's subscribed and I know who's not. And I know who, I see who comments. Trust me, I try and find out people's comments. I try and stay with the same people. It's hard. Oh my goodness, I had 7,000 comments in the last month. That's pretty hard to keep track of. Good thing, really hard. Some of my videos blow up, some of them don't. Generally, when you see a video and you click on it and you watch it for like 4 or 5 minutes, it makes a huge difference, especially when like 10% of my total subs watch a video. It sends a video viral. It's weird how YouTube does it now. So if I post a video and you ignore it, they use that against me, especially for my own subscribers. But if you click on it and you watch it for 3 or 4 minutes, suddenly the video is reaching the front page and it goes viral. And it's only based on what my subscribers do. So yeah, they'll do some impressions, but I find it doesn't do much. Some of my biggest videos are because of you guys, which I appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure how long this video is, so I'll just close up here. Again, have a good one, man. This is just shop talk, me ranting, doing random things. Again, I will never ever put advertising into important topics. Those have their separate videos. And I like free stuff, so yeah, I'm still gonna be doing a lot of those product review videos. But the tools there, the scan tools, I'm gonna be doing for longer now. I'm gonna tell them, like, if you can't let me have it for 3 months, I'm really not interested. I guess we'll keep going with this video. General consumers, what you're dealing with is what we've been dealing with as automotive technicians for years. A scan tool says it will do something and it doesn't. Matco, Snap-on, Solaris, all that stuff. Famous, friggin' famous for saying it can do this. And then when you go to do it, it doesn't do it. So when you guys are getting upset that these little tool reviews say they do something and they don't, I can't help it. We've dealt with that frustration for years. That's why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 scan tools so we don't run into that issue. So now you're understanding what us mechanics are very frustrated about. Not every tool does what it's advertised. There's nothing we can do about that. And when we get a tool in, I can only advertise 2 makes of vehicle. There are hundreds, and then there's hundreds of models, and then there's hundreds of variants of those models in years. And a scan tool is just not going to be able to do everything you think it can do. So you have to vet it out. I can review it. I can show you what's on that car and what I have. I can't do everything. No reviewer can do everything. It'd be a 900-hour video and it'll be obsolete by the time you're done doing that. It's just not possible. And maybe that's what they're banking on. So you got to stick with good known brands. I am willing to review everything that comes through so you can see what it can and can't do, and you can make a good judgment on that. But generally, I've been happy with everything I've got so far. So again, take it with a grain of salt. That's just my mini rant at the end. Lance Mechanics, have a good one.